All right. Good morning. Good morning. I see your comment there, Cameron. Is snow talk over for the season? No, it is not over for the season. And we're in that lovely. I'm not Ryan Hoke. Sorry about that. I didn't realize the name had changed. We did have snow recently, right? Hey, even though we are going to have storm talk as the main storyline today, we are in that awkward phase now for the next month and a half, roughly, where we will likely bounce back and forth between snow talk and storm talk. It'll be tough to do a daily snow talk, though. This is kind of a pattern as we typically do face that this time of the year. My gut feeling on this whole thing, and I'll show you some of the maps here in a second, is we will likely face more of a setup where you got cold shots vary, still can get some snow, but lasting cold and certainly Arctic cold, those chances fade away fairly quick once you move into the month of March. And then we get into the active weather, the trade-off, of course, being thunderstorms, and in some cases, even some strong ones. So March is right around the corner. So that is right on cue for that. All right. So a lot to cover. I'll come back into play with that here in just a second. Let's kind of get you through the next couple of days. As I mentioned in the teaser, I do think there will be at least two rain chances or storm chances that we'll have to follow in the next 10 days that will get more attention than others. Right now, though, I don't see a lot in the way of snowfall. So just kind of a heads up. All right, let's get right into it. Let's start off with the current view outside. Beautiful out. Another cold start today, cold and frosty once more. We should see a change in that starting tomorrow when we have a little more cloud cover around at times too, but also warmer flow of air. All right, 35 right now into Louisville. Got 37 in Bardstown. 39 as you get into southern Kentucky down into Columbia at the moment. But there is a small little spin going on around Nashville. That's just a little batch of clouds. It's not going to block out much when we have the sun at all today. And certainly is not going to have any rain with it. So we're in good shape as far as today goes. In fact, just a smidge warmer than we were yesterday for afternoon highs. We get to the west, once again, California getting hit hard with another round of the atmospheric river flowing into that area with heavy rain, flooding, and of course, mountain snow. This is eventually going to help promote a low pressure that will just get ejected and thrown right across the lower 48, right into our backyards. And about, I would say, 38 hours or so from now, it should arrive. So we still have some more dry time, but that dry time window is beginning to lessen here soon. Now, the severe risk with that wave, as it does get ejected out, is a marginal risk only for mainly the Ozarks. And once you get into the day of arrival for us on Thursday, there is no outlook. Now, I still think we'll get some lightning and thunder out of this, but because of the timing, as you're about to see, that will work in our favor and keep things relatively tame on the thunderstorm side. So let's walk you through how that Thursday wave will play out. Again, quiet today, no problems, getting close to touching 60. Tomorrow, maybe a few clouds around early in the day act as a small blanket for us, but overall, a warmer day into the lower 60s. A few more high clouds will be flying overhead tomorrow. Should be actually some pretty sunrises and sunsets for your Wednesday. Wednesday sunset may not be too great now that I think about it, only because the storm system will be very much knocking on our door at that point, so maybe too thick of a cloud cover. Either way, we will stay dry today and tomorrow. We get into Thursday, the rain moves in fast, and this is a daytime rain event more than any other period. So not great timing for your plans for work and for school. It is going to be active on the radar starting, I would say, roughly about this time coming up on Thursday. We should have rain falling in the area. And again, some rumbles of thunder. The max point of the rain is going to be likely for the afternoon commute on Thursday as well, with showers and storms. Hold on one second. Got our spammer Maria with me. Hold on. Travis, hold on one second. I'll try not to block you. All right, we're good. This looks like a severe signal. And to be honest with you, if we were to get a little more heating into southern areas of Kentucky, there is enough wind energy here that there could be a low-end strong storm threat that could develop Thursday afternoon, but not all the modeling agrees with that, and they certainly do not agree on the idea of getting a lot of fuel here with this. So this thing's got its limits for sure, but if there is a time period and a place across wave country that we'll be looking at and evaluating the next couple of days, it's going to be south and east of the parkways. Right now, though, again, that risk looks to be low. Good soaking rain, though. I'm talking a good solid, I would say 1 inch of rain coming our way as we head into your Thursday. So messy day on Thursday. We do cool down behind that, by the way. Nothing drastic. I mean, compared to that, it will be noticeably colder. We do have a couple of weak systems for the weekend. I'll explain in just 1 second. In fact, here is the outlook there for the weekend. There's a couple little mini clipper type waves that dive in. Right now, I'm not too thrilled on these. These are going to be very low chances, like 10% on these, just because mainly to the east will be the main flow for these. I know it shows rain and snow. It's possible, depending on the timing. You could get a sprinkle versus a flurry. But, yeah, not anything that's going to make it on the snowboard. So not worried about that. Another little weak wave of just sprinkles more than anything on Sunday night as we begin what looks to be a significant warming trend. You guys ready for this? All right. As we get into early next week, a large storm system, actually would be two working together as really one, that will be developing. And that should lead to a significant surge of 70-degree days. Perhaps 3 of them we may get next week. One will come with the initial round of warm air that will be building in as we head into Monday. The second one on Tuesday is a little iffy because we have what we call warm air advection showers. It will be developing, as you can see, the little spritz of green. If they develop, that will likely hold us about 68 or so. Not a huge difference, but it can shave off a few degrees. And then we get into the actual storm day, which will be Wednesday. We should have a good chance again to get into the warm sector, which will put us back to around 70 or higher. Then we get this mess of showers and thunderstorms rolling in on next Wednesday. That's a long way off, right? You can already tell by looking at the modeling. Yeah, it looks like squall line here, right? The individual streaks that are showing up. Sure enough, and he does do that. I'm already seeing wind gusts along some thunderstorms that are over 50 knots already starting to show up on the modeling. I will say to see this far out is fairly impressive. I do think it's still going to go through several changes, but the overall pattern and the signal for this to move through is certainly elevated. So I think this is going to be a growing concern as we get a little closer in time. Yes, there is snow on the backside. This has a good chance to go to snow after it's over with. Again, we run into that very often around here when you get into certainly March, but in this case, it'd be the very last couple of days of February, close enough. You guys remember how March was in 2012 even. I'm not saying it's going to be similar to that in tornado fashion, but remember that it snowed just 36 hours after we had the thunderstorms then. So it's very common to get a very dynamic yin-yang approach. You take a lot of warm air and moisture and you throw it at a very far length and higher latitudes that are not normal at this point. You're going to get an opposite reaction to that, and that will be a cold blast and usually a snow event of some type. So March is going to likely come in like a lion, the way it's looking now, the leap year day kind of throwing it off a bit. But it still will be an interesting setup to see how that plays out for showers and some thunderstorms and behind it. In fact, I was looking at the analogs here, and I know this is kind of hard to see. Far right is the SIPS analogs. And this is really only able to see into Tuesday night to Wednesday, for next week. It already shows hints of it, a little more south and west, the beginning stages. And the Colorado State Learning Module, which has done very well this season, has got it basically right over us as we're the core of the event for next Wednesday. I don't see this very often, guys. I do not see that very often. So this could be one of those setups that if confidence grows, we may have an alert day out pretty far in the 10-day if we get the timing nailed. That timing is the only issue because there's a couple, again, 2 different systems working as one that can easily throw off the timing about 24 hours. And so we really don't want to be throwing darts here until we know a better idea on the time frame. So just expect some changes to this forecast. Just know we're going to be watching it carefully as we head down the road. All right, everyone clear. Press 31. If you're good on the storm setup. Thunder brooms are my favorite. John, glad they take the rain. We still need to make up from last year's droughts. Yeah, we do. We need, and this is how it usually happens, right? You go from one extreme to the other. We just don't want too much rain. Let's not get it, hopefully not too muddy for Thunder over Louisville and all the events in downtown. Let's see. Anonymous, any travel issues? Sorry, I'm not sure when you typed that. If you're assuming on this Thursday, other than typical travel issues with heavy rain, which can be a mess. I mean, today we had sunshine and we had interstate shut down twice. So there's definitely, always an issue with travel around here. But yeah, Thursday's going to be a messy day on the roads. It's going to be messy. Don't know yet. I'm assuming next Tuesday and Wednesday, Thursday will be, just because of the active weather on the storm side. Okay, so that is how it looks for, again, why I have StormTALK. It's out today. Thursday looks tame. Very low wind risk that we could get a gusty thunderstorm in our southern counties if there can be fuel realized. We just don't have that answer yet. Right now, the signal for it is not very strong, so that's good. Then we get a chilly setup for the weekend, but then we get a very dynamic system with 2 to 3 days of very warm weather, which will likely get maxed out with some type of storm event type setup as we get into about next Wednesday. That's the big headline of the entire 10-day of those two features. What happens after that? Well, I'm glad you asked. After that, the new long-term Euro came out last night while you were asleep, and it did indicate, what is not a shock here, a warmer than average pattern for us for a good chunk of the lower 48 in the first 10 days or so of March. Could this lead to another round of storms after the one on the 28th or even leap year? It's possible. It wouldn't surprise me. It would happen in the same week, to be honest with you guys, on the way that's stacked out. But then we get into mid to late March, and the signal begins to once again flip on us. Goes back to colder than normal. Remember, colder than normal. So normal at this point would be in the 50s. So colder is running in the 40s. So not exactly Arctic cold that we're talking about, but for late March, 40-degree highs are not fun. Even as a snow lover, they're not fun in late March. At that point, you're really, really over it, right? But it is cold enough and still close enough in range. Yes, you can still get snow, these kind of mishaps. You're not going to see it in advance. We're back to that whole song and dance that we have in the autumn season. You're not going to be able to see these snow events in advance. That's the downside on being in a warmer time of year. You start to run into dynamic cooling events like we just went through not long ago. So there's a lot of questions on that, but I can just tell you that winter is, at least on paper, winter is not over. And of course, from growing up here, we all know better. We all know better how that plays out. Usually it snows about a week before Derby, right? It's the way it goes around here. All right, guys. Let's see. What was your question there? Sorry. Brandon, stormy set up for thunderstorms. Love spring weather. Yeah. I'm not a storm person. Kevin and Ryan love thunderstorms. I'm a snow person. Severe weather to me is I get highly stressed even in that environment. So are you thinking even a small outbreak likely for that system? I don't know yet, Cameron, for that one for next week. Too early to know that, because we got to get timing down, and timing matters this time of the year. You get a squall line of thunderstorms that will be moving through at 3 a.m. While it's a really dangerous time to have them move through, you do reduce the fuel significantly versus 5 p.m. on an afternoon daytime setup is different. You have a lot of fuel and a lot of people on the road, so the impacts are different. So that has to be ironed out. Can't do it yet. All I can tell you is the upper air pattern does signal a significant storm. There will be warm air involved. There will be quite a bit of moisture involved. Everything there that, as far as what the system is going to need, is ready to go. Timing is the only thing we don't know, and that's not unusual this far out. All right, I'm going to leave it there for now, guys. Try to keep it relatively short and sweet. Hello, Maureen. How you doing? Hope everyone's well down in Eaton High School. Good to see you guys. All right, so hopefully you guys will get some maybe some more snow days for the season's over with. We'll see. All the law schools are actually, Jefferson County's out today, so what a nice day to be out. Beautiful outside. All right, I'll leave it there for now. I'll see you guys on midday. And again, we'll keep an eye on Thursday, and we'll keep an eye on what happens early next week. Stay with us.